There are times in AutoCAD Electrical where you do need to export data out to other programs, other applications, and spreadsheets and databases. So let's have a look at that data on our drawing first of all before we export it. I've got a simple circuit here, I've got some fuses, some relays, and there's a motor there as well. So let's have a look at how this works. I'm going to select the fuse component there and edit the component. And what we'll do a lookup and look up on the databases for the fuse information. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about specific fuses. I'm just going to go straight here for the one at the top like that and OK it. And I'm going to OK that there. So that adds the information there. And you can see the 1 amp goes on the fuse. I'll do the same for this fuse. And I'll edit the component. And I'll do a lookup again as well. I'm just going to select the one at the top each time. I'm just adding catalog data purely for our data export. So I'll do this one as well, edit component. I'm going to do a lookup again and use the busman fuse again in the list like so. So those have been updated. Let's do the relays now. Again, edit component, do a lookup, and I'm just going to select the one at the top of the list, the AB one there, and OK that, and OK it again. Now I'm just adding information here, so you'll notice sometimes you do get prompts. The parent's terminal pin list was changed. I'm going to OK that just to say that that's fine. I'm just putting data in. I want the data in there so that when we actually export this data and it goes out to Excel, we can have a look at it and see that information there. So there's another AB relay there, and I'll OK that. And again, I get the same alert prompt. And then last but not least, this component here. I'm just working my way through all of these and editing them as I go. So that one there, I clicked OK before I should have because I didn't do a lookup. Easily done. So we go back there, add the data like so, and click on OK. So there's the data there. That's all updated. Let's go to the motor now. And we'll edit that component as well. Do a lookup again, and I'm just going to go for the one at the top of the list, just to get some data into the project like so. So that's all been updated. So we've got data in there now. We now need to think about exporting the data from this drawing. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the Import Export Data tab at the top there. Now I'm not going to export it out to any applications like Inventor, Unity Pro. I'm just going to go straight to a spreadsheet and select the data categories to go. Now if I do a general like that, what it'll do is it'll select all of the ones that have little asterisks next to them. So I'm going to OK that. And data export for active drawing only. And we want it to be Excel file format, XLS. We want all location codes. I click on OK. And now that's asking me where I want that particular XLS to go. Now to make life easy, I'm going to drop that straight onto my desktop there because then I know where it is, and click on Save. So you can see there, data line's extracted 8, so it's taken the data through and that's gone out to the spreadsheet. So let's bring that spreadsheet up on the screen now. So I'll just go down to my taskbar and open that up and bring it in. Now you'll notice I'm running Office 2007 and I've got a security warning. Macros have been disabled. So if I go to Options now and enable that content and say OK, what'll happen is you'll see the information here. So there's data there. And if you look at the tabs now, the macro has enabled, and you can see all the information there on all the different tabs. So it's this one here, terminals, PLC, input output, signals, and so on. There's a whole load of them in the spreadsheet. Now, obviously, components, there's plenty of them because those were on the drawing. So you can see there's our information, there's our relays, our fuses, and our motor. And as I scroll across now, you'll see there's quite a bit of information in there. Not much, because obviously I've just taken the basic information and linked it across. But that's the whole idea of this. I'm exporting the data to a different application for somebody to work with that data from the drawing. So the whole idea of AutoCAD Electrical is you can create the drawings, export the data, and someone else can work with that data in something like Microsoft Access with an MDB file or Microsoft Excel with an XLS file, as I've just shown you. Let's have a look now at importing data. What we're going to do is we're going to export a spreadsheet, make some changes, and then import that spreadsheet. So let's have a look at that and see how it works. First thing you must do in this case, if you're importing and exporting, is to make sure that your drawing is associated with your project. So I've created a new drawing for you, JIC importing data. So as usual, go to the project, right click, add the active drawing, yes to the project default values. Sheet number has already updated to 002, so I don't need to worry about drawing properties. Now I'm going to export out to spreadsheet again, like we did in the previous video. I'm going to select the general option again like so, and I'm going to click on OK. We're going to do it for the active drawing to an XLS, Excel file format, and all location codes are going to be extracted. I click on OK. I'm going to save that to my desktop again, like I did last time. So it's saying save in desktop, click on save, and that saves the spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet now has gone out to the desktop. What we need to do now is open up that spreadsheet, edit the data in the spreadsheet, and then import the data back into our project drawing. So once we've got that spreadsheet saved with all the data in it, we need to go to the spreadsheet and make the changes. So let's do that now. I'll go down to my Windows taskbar. There's my spreadsheet there. And as you can see, it's JIC importing data XLS. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to change the descriptions of the objects. So I'm in the Comp tab of the Excel spreadsheet, which stands for Components. And I'm just going to put some descriptions in. That's all I'm going to do, nothing major. So those are fuses. So we'll put fuse in for each of the fuses, like so. And this is very boring and mundane stuff. You're just typing in entries. There's the relays there. What you can do to speed things up a bit, once you've typed it in once, hover over there and drag, and it puts relay into all three cells for you. And that's our motor there. So I'll just put that information in like so. What I'm going to do now is save that spreadsheet. So I'll click on save. That's saved. And I'll minimize that now back down to the Windows taskbar. Now, this is where it's kind of cool, because what I can do now is update my components on my drawing from that spreadsheet. So I go up to import now, the imports panel, and go from spreadsheet. I go onto the desktop now to find my importing spreadsheet. So I go down, keep coming down, I'll go past the folders first, and there's importing data. And funnily enough, just above it, there's exporting data from the previous video. So if I use that one there, click on open, I want to do it in the active drawing, and also flip any updated tag wire numbers, click on OK, chugs on through there, and look, can you see the fuse descriptions have appeared on the drawing? So if I now go into one of those to edit the component, you'll see the description line has gone in as fuse. Now I haven't changed anything else, I'll just cancel that now. But if I go to the relays as well, and go to edit component, you'll see there's relay in the description. Now I've just done the simplest of changes, which is a description line for a component on the drawing. But you can see how important that is if you've got somebody working externally on a spreadsheet that is developing a bill of materials and may need to edit objects on the drawing from that bill of materials. We can also set up automatic reporting in AutoCAD Electrical. We can report even onto a drawing if we want to. Let's have a look at doing that now. We're going to create a thing called a set file, an SET file, which is a settings file. I've created a separate drawing for us there, creating set file, so let's add that to the project. You can't generate reports without it being part of the project. So we add the active drawing, yes to the project values, and we just make sure that the drawing properties there are obviously correct. So we go there, properties as usual, and change the sheet number. So that's all updated and ready to go. Now we've saved the drawing as well. What we need to think about now is the report format setup. So I go to my reports tab on the ribbon and report format setup right there. We're going to go for a component report. We're going to look at those components that are in our schematic drawing. Now there's various settings here that we need to consider. First of all, the category is schematic. It could also be hydraulic, pneumatic, P&ID, and so on. We have got a schematic drawing with some components on it. We're going to include components, cable markers, and connections. And we could also include children for the above if we had that parent-sibling relationship between components. You'll notice as well we can do this for panels over here on the left as well, not just schematics. Now we can save the report to a file. We can change the report fields, so we can say what we want to see on the report by going through the available fields and removing or adding. I can also sort the fields by the primary sort, the secondary sort, and so on. More importantly though, I can put the report on a drawing. We'll look at that in a second. I also want to make sure that installation codes to extract are all and location codes to extract are all. Let's hop back now to that put on drawing. I can set all of the settings now on a drawing. I can put a table onto a drawing that will be my report. We're going to insert it as a new table. You can also insert it as a new non-updatable table. So it's like a snapshot and that's it. Ideally though, you want the table to be editable. You can also update an existing table on an existing drawing if you wish. Column labels I'm going to include. We're going to change the label color though. We're going to make that blue. And I can include the time and the date, the project information. I'm also going to include the title line, and I'm going to make the title color a nice red so it stands out. It will also go on the layer miscellaneous, which is totally fine, and we're going to show the title on the first section only. Now the general text in the fields in the table, we're going to change that and we'll give that a nice dark green color, like so. I'm just making these colored so they stand out on the drawing when you see them on the drawing. Column width and borders, we'll go all borders and we'll calculate the column widths automatically. First new section placement, I can either pick a point on the drawing. I'm just going to go for 0, 0 there, a lot easier. And we've got a choice of row definition, last line. We can build up and move it around. We can apply special breaks and set the section distances there. Or we can just say, I want rows for each section, which is what I'm going to go for. So when I click on OK now, you'll see there that I go back to the format file setup screen. I'm just going to go back to put on drawing there. We could include the title line report for project, and it's got that great big long path. What I'm going to do there is I'm just going to remove all of that, and I'm going to call it components report 1. It's a lot easier than that great big long path. It just stands out a little bit more into that great big long piece of text. I've just thought of that and it would look a bit better. So I'm going to OK that now. So that's all done. What I've got to do now though is save it as a format file. Save as format file there. As you can see, I'm in the user folder there, which is a default folder that gets set up when you install AutoCAD Electrical. I don't want to overwrite that one there. That's the default. So I'm going to go for comp report 1 as per the title on the drawing, and it's a set file. So I save that now. So that's now saved, and I click on done. That's done. All my settings are saved. So what I can do now is I can go up here now to automatic reports, and I can use a file. I need to go and find that file though, first of all. So I click there. There's my user folder there, and I OK that. I want a component file. Now, you'll notice as soon as I go to component, anything that is set up for components is there. There's my comp set, and there's my comp report 1 that I created earlier. So I don't have to go searching. You'll see that AutoCAD Electrical actually works out for each type of report what the set report is for. So as we can see there now, I'm now going to add that component report, comp report 1. Now, first drawing name. Remember, we saved it to drawing. So what we need to do there is we need to actually put a drawing name in there. Now we're using JIC, remember our naming philosophy for drawings, and this will be component report 1. When I click on OK, it will save the drawing, it'll update, it will go through and create all of that, but more importantly, watch the project drawing listing. You'll see now there's my component report 1 drawing right there. So I'll go into that. If I just double click to zoom extents, there's my report. How cool is that? I've generated an entire report on all my components, brought it into a new drawing. So what I can do there now is I'll right click, properties, drawing properties. I'll give that a sheet value of 0, 0, 0 so that my reporting sits there like that. And then what I can do is I can move that to the top of the list like that. So as you can see, component reports, very easy when you create those SET, those settings files. So when we looked at automatic reporting last time, we actually generated a report and put it on a drawing. This time what we're going to do is we're going to look at generating a report, but we're going to send it to an XLS file. So let's have a look at that again. We've got our JIC automatic reports drawing there. Now, before you do any reporting, you must make sure that your drawing is added to the project. Otherwise, it won't report correctly. So we add that information in. I need to renumber there. So I've got 0, 1, 2, 3. So that there needs to be drawing 4. So I just need to change the sheet value to 4. That's updated nice and neatly. Now, again, we go back to report format setup. We're doing a component report. All of the settings will remain the same. So schematic, include components, include cable markers, include connections. This time, though, we're going to save the report to a file instead of putting it on a drawing. So we go save report to file. It's going to be an Excel spreadsheet. We're going to include the project values. And we can also say that those project values go on the first section only if we wish. And then we're going to put a file name. Now, the file name this time will be component report, and we'll call it automate, as in automated like that. Then we know. Now I'm going to browse, and I'm going to put that on my desktop so I know exactly where it is. So we'll go here, desktop. Like I did last time when I was creating the reports, we'll put it there so we know where it is. So I'll save it there so we know it's going to go there. I'll OK that now. We're not putting it on the drawing, so I don't need to worry about any of those settings at all. Installation codes, location codes, just set those to all. And then we save as format file. Now, last time we called it comp report 1 set. We're going to call it comp report XLS this time, because we know it's going to an XLS file like that. And I save. That adds that to the list, and there you go, comp report XLS set at the top of the dialog. And click on Done. So that's now ready to go. What I've got to do now is just run my automatic reports again. Component. Select my XLS report set file this time and add it to the list. That's all ready to go. Notice it's set to file output. And all I've got to do now, I don't need to worry about drawing name, I just click on OK. And off it goes. It'll save the drawing first. That's an automatic thing. And as you can see, that's gone to component report automate XLS on my desktop. So what I need to do now is I need to open up that component report and have a look at it. So that's easy. I'll go down to the Windows taskbar, and there's my component report automate XLS. And there's the tag names. As you can see, there's the fields for the drawing, and then motor, relays, fuses, and so on and so forth. So there's all the information in my report that I've generated. Now, obviously, I've created an Excel spreadsheet file this time. That can go to somebody else. Things can be updated. And again, I can import data from the report if I need to. In this case, it's an actual physical file I'm creating rather than a table on an AutoCAD drawing.